Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Halloween special of Real Life Gays. Boys, how are you both doing?
Fabulous!
I can't laugh because I'll crack, and this one's making me laugh.
I'm just being myself.
No, you're not.
It's actually scary how much I look like Bette Midler. So
You
yes,
actually do.
this is not how we look. I think it actually makes me look better. Woo! So happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, everybody. So how have you both been this week? Rhys, what have you been up to?
I've been working really hard this week, but I'm good, thank you very much.
Good. Gareth, how have you been?
Good, I've been busier with work, so that's a welcome change. And I got a final move-in date for my new house, which is the end of November. So only about 4 weeks to go. Woohoo!
Fabulous. Yeah, I'm loving third week in my new job. Going really well. And yeah, I'm loving being back home as well. Also, thank you for all the support on our last episode and our previous episodes. If you do want to check us out on social media, you can do. So that's Real Life Gays on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And also, if you want to email us for ideas of any future shows, you can do that at reallifegays@yahoo.com.
So this is our spooktacular episode. Woohoo! Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
I tried, because we decided to do this Halloween special, I tried to do proper Winnie Sanderson from Hocus Pocus makeup, which does involve removing your eyebrows. So I did a tutorial on YouTube. I went out and bought the glue, the powder, everything, and an hour later they were still there. So I gave up. So they're not as obvious, but I did everything right. I think the only thing is the powder I was using wasn't thick white powder. It was just setting powder. And I think that's me.
I've asked Cheyenne to come and help you, the drag queen we had on.
I know, a part of me was like, should I just send her a message? But time was of the essence.
Is she in Scotland then?
No, she's in Essex.
I would have just phoned her.
Oh,
Like, help me!
yeah.
I need help with a drag queen. But I'll learn for next time.
I can't laugh, you're not allowed to make me laugh.
I'll keep this costume because it was quite easy to do the makeup, well, apart from the eyebrows. And it really suits me. I'm just going to go walk around the streets. I've got my appointment tomorrow. I'll just turn up like... Sorry, I keep making you laugh, Rhys.
This episode, we decided to talk about our past Halloween nights out and possibly talk about Halloween when we were younger as well, and kind of what Halloween means to us, and like a Halloween flashback to what we used to do. So, Gareth, did you used to celebrate Halloween when you were a child?
Yes, and one of my favourite movies is Hocus Pocus, which is why I had to do Winifred. I did a lot of trick-or-treating, like I'm sure a lot of people did, and my costumes ranged from really shit bin bag where your mum and dad forgot, and you're like, oh quick, let's just put a bin bag over you. I'm sure we've all been there. Or run into the cheapest supermarket available and getting you a £1 mask and saying, there you go, out you go. And we always had like the go-to houses where you remember, Mrs. Such and Such always gave you good stuff. Or the houses to avoid in darkness who, you just wanted to egg their windows. But I just used to love coming back home and, tipping out all your little trick-or-treat bag and counting how much money you got. It was always 5 pences and 20 pences you got. And someone old always gave you an orange. What was that about? They always gave you an orange. You're like, put that in the bin.
Yeah.
But no, one of the worst things as well, we used to go to people and go, trick or treat, and they go, okay, what's your trick? And you're like, just give me money. Just give me food. You never had it prepared. I don't know if you were the same. But no, we used to just do lots of games as well. Like, I don't know if you call it bobbing for apples. We call it ducking for apples. And like the treacle scone. like or pancakes, and you've got a string and you put scones or like pancakes on the string and pour like treacle over it, and you have to like eat it without your hands.
Oh,
So it can get a bit messy, especially when you've got face paint, you've got covered in like treacle. But there were really, really good memories. And obviously when you get older, it turns into Halloween parties. And we try and always do a Halloween party every year. Obviously this year it's not going to work. So we're doing like a little Zoom kind of Halloween quiz at the weekend. And then it just turns into kind of a drinking night when you're older. I miss kind of going out trick-or-treating. But yeah, good memories as a child anyway.
Rhys, what about you?
Yeah. Same as Gareth. So in my family, my holiday's Christmas. I love Christmas, but my auntie is the Halloween queen. So her house is like completely decorated right now. So obviously it's my cousin's birthday on Halloween as well. So every Halloween has always been about his birthday, but we'd always do a Halloween theme. Always go trick-or-treating. Our tricks were normally eggs on the windows or the doors. I remember one day I left an egg, like a hole, outside someone's steps, so when they stepped out the door, hopefully they would step on it, because they didn't give me any sweets. I never got money though. We never got money on trick-or-treating. It was always sweets or chocolate.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, then like you said, Gareth, as I got older, Halloween then turned into drinks and parties, and still love it. I love dressing up anyway. So I do enjoy the whole Halloween side of things. Plus it means it's 1 month closer to Christmas.
True.
What about you, Lee?
Well, each year, now I've got older, we did celebrate it when I was younger, but I was like only child when I was growing up, and mainly went round families' homes and this, that and the other, and like you said, got sweets and etc. Went round the neighbour's house, blah, blah, blah. But I really got into it as I got older, and friends and I used to do a big Halloween night out, and I've been everything from a devil to zombie but what I do is I have an idea and then I put the makeup on my body what the idea is. So my idea for the clown one, which I hate clowns, and every time I went to the toilet and saw myself in the mirror, I would crap myself because I had all this, similar to what you've got, all this down here. But I had a big leg piece of all liquid latex, and it was all shaded and everything else. And my mindset was, I was riding on the back of a motorbike, fell off, and then got dragged. So that was the mindset. So all down this side and all down my leg and my arm was all like ripped and horrible a bit.
Oh, I love that.
And then each year, me and friends try, but then I think like 5-6 years ago we just gave up, to learn the thriller dance. Could never do it. And I remember the first year we actually all went out, like full-blown zombies and everything else, in Coventry it was. And 3 drinks at mine, because I lived in town at the time. We went into the first pub when you could go out and enjoy yourself. And literally everyone was like, oh, can I take your photo? We felt like little mini celebrities. It was amazing. And then each year it kind of got better and better and better. And everyone like meeting up, well, what we're going to do this year and stuff. But my go-to has always been a zombie. I even went on a zombie walk once around Birmingham, and I was the zombie groom, and then my partner at the time was a zombie bride with full wedding dress and everything else. So yeah,
what I think we should do here is put a little montage of our costumes from previous years.
You know, you were saying about the trick-or-treating, and like as you got older, obviously trick-or-treating stopped. I think when you have kids in the family, that kind of helps that situation, because you still take the kids trick-or-treating. I mean, this year obviously maybe not.
The big C.
Sorry, let me just move my lip back up to where it should be.
Yeah, my niece and nephew, I might in this next year or something say, can Uncle come and take his trick-or-treating?
Yeah.
Give me the
Do you know when you're at that age where you're too old for some things but too young for other things? You're too young for drinking but too old for trick-or-treating. Me and my mates used to do a tradition where we'd come round one of our houses, and we would do like a movie marathon of horror movies, and we would always end with Hocus Pocus and then Nightmare Before Christmas. Like that was one of the traditions. Well, I think we did that only for like 2 or 3 years before we discovered alcohol. But yeah, that was good fun. I might do that again this year.
One of our family traditions, we always watch Hocus Pocus on Halloween.
I'm going to see it on Halloween at the cinema, the local cinema this weekend with my friend.
Oh,
nice. So we
nice.
booked a 2:00 show, and obviously it's a small cinema and it's COVID, so it's all socially distanced. But we booked because I thought I've not seen it on the big screen ever, because I don't remember ever going to see the cinema. I was maybe too young maybe when it first came out. But it'll be the first time I'm getting to see it on the big screen, because that's my kind of Halloween movie, because I'm not a big horror fan. I really hate horror movies. I'm a big wimp. So I would rather have The Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, that new one from Netflix, the Hubby Halloween or whatever, the kind of comedic, kind of almost scary but not too scary, goosebumpy one, as opposed to slasher Halloween movies. They freak me out, and the paranormal stuff.
I love them. I would sit there and watch all of Scream, all of what's the other ones called? Freddy and Jason and
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I can watch the Scream ones. I can watch, what I like as well is the comedy ones. So is it the Scary Movies?
Oh, Scary Movies.
With like the wrong hand and everything else. But I remember, I don't know if either of you been, in Blackpool on the Pleasure Beach, there's a thing, it's like a ride, but you have to kind of walk around it. But it's different film sets. So you've got the first one you walk into, it's like you're in a graveyard, and it's huge. You can go in like 6 at a time or something. So I went in, I was in the middle. One friend was this side, and I literally locked like this, and then someone was in front. And then the shutter comes up, and there he is with the knives and everything else. Next minute, he comes out, and then he's chasing out. Then you go into the next room, and then you got the poltergeist girl on the bed. And you think, oh, she's tied to it, she's fine. But then she's up on the bed, throwing cushions at you and everything. And you're up against the wall, and there's people grabbing you from through the wall. Then she runs down a corridor where you've got to go. And she's literally looking like you and everything. Jesus and all this sucks and everything, whatever she says in the film, she's saying all this, that, and the other thing. Like, oh my God. So I'm literally petrified. I'm like, we can't go back, we've got to go forward. And then it's all different, literally. I think it ended with someone chasing you with a chainsaw, a pretend one. And this door swings open and you're in a pub. So I'm like, quick.
I love that.
Now. And everyone's watching you go round on the screens.
See, I like stuff like that. When it's horror movies, when you know it's not really real. Like, I love the Edinburgh dungeons, London dungeons, because it's, kind of jump out and scare you kind of stuff. The ghost trains and stuff like that. That's fun to me. Like, Edinburgh's known for being the most haunted city. So everyone who visits Edinburgh has to do the ghost tours, and you get taken to the underground vaults, they're called, where, it's been on Most Haunted is like level 5 for activity of paranormal. And then it's similar to that, you get taken on a tour and it's quite scary and it's spooky because it's real. And then you end up in the club next door. But it is quite freaky because it's not just, telling you crap, it's real life stuff. But I like the Edinburgh dungeons and stuff. Like, I would love that when you went on Leo. That's my kind of fun. As
I was terrified. Literally, I was
slit.
pushing the person in front of me, saying, and then you have to go across this rickety bridge, and I'm like, just run.
I love stuff like that. We have like haunted farms out where I live, and that's where people go. They go to the haunted farms, and you have to go through all these different mazes to get to where you're going. But have either of you ever been to Thorpe Park?
No, but they've got a really good one, do they not?
So in Thorpe Park, I don't know if it's still there now, but they used to have the Saw maze. So the movie Saw. So I went with work once when I used to live here before, and there was me and this straight guy. His name was Ben. I will mention him. Me and Ben was a straight guy. Obviously, I'm gay. And we were queuing up to go on the Saw maze, and the girls were like, I can't do it. So they left. So it was just me and Ben left to go in together. And when you go in, you have to put your hands on each other's shoulders and walk through together because you're not allowed to touch the actors. So Ben, as we've gone in, Ben said to me, right, you can go in front. And I was like, you're the straight one. You should be in front. But he refused. So obviously I was in front. He was on my shoulders. And the whole way round, all he did was scream like the little girl. And I was like, it's okay. I'll get you through it. It's okay. But yeah,
That would be
Straight
me.
away.
That would be me as well.
What, screaming or the one getting the straight guy through it?
Screaming.
Screaming. But I like the whole screaming. Like when you go on the tours in Edinburgh and stuff, even when I know it's going to come, I still shit myself and scream, but I then laugh hysterically after it. I think it's hilarious. So this is so surreal. When everyone's talking, I'm just looking at Lee just sitting there.
And the amount of times I've been on a night out and had, you know, latex and everything all over my face, and I'm like, hiya, you alright? How you been? And everyone's looking at me like, who are you?
Who are you?
So uncomfortable though.
I know. I had what you had, like 2015 when we had a Halloween party. We went and got it done professionally.
Mm.
And all night I was like, because I got up from here, like my face was ripping open and it was like peeling off. And by the end of the night, it did just kind of fall off. But I did feel so uncomfortable all night. You get touching it, you get melting. It was...
Last year I was in Cyprus for Halloween last year, and I did something similar but bigger, like what you just said. Got so drunk by the end of the night, I was sitting in the kebab shop ripping it off, and everyone was just looking at me like, I was sitting there going, I could have do that later.
When I worked in Egypt, when I took over as the manager of the entertainment team, I decided we've got a show called Eurovision show. So we did all like the Eurovision winners for the last 25 years or something. And we did dances to them. And I wanted to do a Halloween special, but I was like, I don't have time to make a whole new Halloween show. So we did a sign saying Eurovision, and then I put a big score through the Euro and turned it into Thriller Vision. And I got one of the guys who normally just does the lighting. I was like, you're going to be the murderer. And I was like, so we're all going to start on the stage, 6 of us. And each dance that comes on, you're going to come on the stage and grab one of us off the stage. And with another 5 who's dancing don't notice it, but obviously the audience will see it. So that was the whole concept. And obviously at the end, it was just me left. And then when it all went dark and something took me away, finally we all came on and did the Thriller routine. Well, I made it a little bit simpler, dressed as zombies. And I loved doing that because the whole point, I wanted to make everyone shit themselves. So right at the start, I had lots of smoke coming on the stage, and I really wanted to get a big bang to make everyone like, go, woo! So I had this guy who was a murderer walking a cloak like this, kind of like the Grim Reaper, walk up the stairs onto the stage so you can see just this outline. And he just stopped and turned and stared at everyone. And then kind of went like that. And equally at the same time, I had the song Ring of Roses by a girl singing, Ring around, and everyone was just sitting there. And he walked into behind the stage, and then the lights went down, and I just got this big bang. I turned the volume right up. And you can see it in the video, everyone just goes, ah, shits themselves. And I was like, yes, it worked.
That's amazing.
I loved doing that, loved it. So I would love to do something like that again. And I kind of try and do it in my Zumba classes. So we do Thriller, the routine. Again, I've made it easier for my Zumba students. Every year, this will be the first year we've not done it in six years. So I'm doing it online tomorrow. Every year we post it up and we try and record it. So this is so sad that I won't be able to do it this year. That's breaking the chain.
I love stuff like that though. That sounds amazing. It sounds like fun.
Surprise! You saying you're going to the cinema? I'm going to a drive-in cinema on Thursday to watch Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah, you have to watch it. It's the best. And then there's going to be a Hocus Pocus 2. It's been confirmed by Bette Midler.
It has been confirmed.
I wasn't sure.
There was an article just came out, and it's Bette Midler actually said it. I was like, because there's been rumors for it for years, and it's always been fake.
And all 3 of them are coming back.
No. Sorry?
Are all 3 of them coming back?
She said all 3 of them. Well, let's face it, they're not really doing anything else. You don't Sarah Jessica Parker. What are you doing now, Sex and the City's over? Nothing.
Living off her money.
Well, exactly.
So, have either of you got any scary stories?
So, I looked up some scary stories because I don't really have any real scary stories. But
wait, I feel like I should turn a light off. Are they really scary?
I was just about to say.
I'm turning
don't
my
worry,
light.
I will. I can edit this to make it dark.
No, I'm turning my light off because this is going to be fun. Let's have a little fun.
I can turn mine down.
Alexa, bedroom lights off.
I feel like I need to say it like this. Book. Right. So I've got 3 of them, and they're really, really short, okay? Like, really short. And I prefer ones like that. So we're ready?
Yeah.
First story. A young boy is sleeping in his bed on a usual night. He hears footsteps outside his door and peeks out of his eyes to see what is happening. His door swings open quietly to reveal a murderer carrying the corpses of his parents. After silently propping him up on a chair, he writes something on the wall in the blood of the dead bodies. He then hides under the child's bed. The child is scared beyond belief. He can't read the writing on the wall, and he knows the man is under his bed. Like any child, he pretends that he slept through the whole thing and hasn't awoken yet. He lays still as the bodies, quietly hearing the breaths from under the bed. An hour passes, and his eyes are adjusting more and more to the darkness. He tries to make out the words, but it's a struggle. He gasps when he finally makes out the sentence. I know you're awake. He feels something shift under his bed. And that's the end.
Whoa.
So that's number 1. The other 2 really, really short, like 2 paragraphs. Last night, a friend rushed me out of the house to catch the opening act at a local bar's music night. After a few drinks, I realised my phone wasn't in my pocket. I checked the table we were sitting at, the bar, the bathrooms, and after no luck, I used my friend's phone to call my number. After 2 rings, someone answered, gave it a low, raspy, spooky voice, and hung up. They didn't answer again. I eventually gave it up as a lost cause and headed home. I found my phone laying on my nightstand, right where I left it.
Ooh, girl.
Girl, get out.
And this next one I've heard before, but I'll say it again. I begin tucking him into bed and he tells me, Daddy, check for monsters under my bed. I look underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, Daddy, there's someone on my bed.
Oh, that was a bit freaky.
Oh! So that was my 3 little mini ones. They gave me little shivers. I was reading them in the car earlier and it was pissing down with rain and it was quite dark and I was like, if someone jumped out at me right now, it would end me. It would just end me. Oh. Right, who's next?
I've got one. I've got real stories or I've got one like ghost story. So I'm going to do the ghost story.
Okay.
This woman lives in a house all on her own with her and her dog. Okay, just her and her dog. Every night when she goes to bed, the dog sleeps under the bed. She puts her hand down and the dog licks her hand and she goes to sleep. This one night, she does her normal routine. She goes to bed, puts her hand down, the dog licks her hand, and she starts to fall asleep. And all of a sudden, she starts hearing drip, drip, drip. So she gets up, she goes into the bathroom to check the sinks. Everything's fine. She gets back in bed, puts her hand down, the dog licks her hand. Drip, drip, drip. She gets up, she goes and checks around the rest of the house. Nothing. She comes back to bed, puts her hand down, the dog licks her hand. Drip, drip, drip. So she sits up and she listens. Drip, drip, drip. The noise is coming from her cupboard. So she gets up. She opens the cupboard door and there is her dead dog, throat slit and blood dripping on the floor. She turns around and looks under her bed. Ah!
Jesus! You're a twat.
You little
I
bastard.
ripped my seams! I love stuff like that.
Ridiculous. You're gonna have to touch that up for your lipstick.
I know, I'm ripped. I'm just ripped open.
Oh, you wee bastard. I was like, oh, what is it? Oh. But first of all, letting your dog lick your hand then going to sleep, dirty bitch.
Well, she's a
Isn't
single
it?
woman. Leave her alone.
This is when I'm not looking forward to living on my own because I'm going to be scared.
You need to get a dog.
If I hear a drip, I'm like, don't get a dog now, it's going to be sliced to bits in my cupboard.
So me and my friend, we paid to go to one of these paranormal nights. So it started at like 12 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning or whatever it was. So we ended up going. And I'm not someone that believes in anything like this or whatever. And whether people believe me or not, I was there, it happened, whatever. So you go into, first of all, went into like the basement of this big, huge old house. I think it was in Warwick or somewhere, I can't remember where it was. And I was crapping myself because I'm thinking, is this one of these places where you pay your money and then people are just going to jump out and scare you? You know? So went in the thing, pitch black, so I'm like, I can't hear anything. I can't see anything. No, whatever. So then we go into the kitchen. That was it. So there's about, I don't know, 10 of us. And do you know these like tables that you can get? So it's like a small wooden table and it's like the folding one. So it kind of goes like that. So we all got told to put our hands on this thing. So, right, okay, yeah. No word of a lie. The table started moving. And I was like, and I said, what? Okay then. Why do we have to hold it like that? And everyone was like that. All that, there was no pressure, anything. It was just like gently touching. Why don't we do it like this? So some of us did it so like nails down on the wood, and then some of us had it like that. And then we swapped as well. And then it wasn't, and literally we were all of us, we were moving the table around, you know, going round with the table, and I was like, this, and you could tell no one was pushing it or anything like that, because it ended up tipping and going on one leg.
So did that change your mind then? Do you now believe in the paranormal?
I have no idea. I just think, I don't know.
Do you not believe in ghosts?
Well, no, I've never seen one. I'll probably shit myself if I did. They're not invisible. We're meant to see them, aren't you?
I just realised there was a little head right next to you. Have I not even noticed that?
Yeah.
Sharon.
Sharon.
Gareth, do you believe in ghosts?
So yeah.
I believe in ghosts. Yeah, I think so. Well, I believe in ghosts just now. When I move into my own house on my own, I don't believe in them.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you ever, when you were younger, run up the stair in the dark, run up the stairs really, really quick? I think everyone's done that. It's like, no, I don't want to go to bed. It's dark.
I still do it now.
I have this memory. I used to be scared of the dark and stuff, and I used to come downstairs. And in my old house, I used to sit at the bottom of the stairs, and I always used to leave the landing light on. Do you call it the landing as well?
Mm-hmm.
The landing light on. And then we had this radiator, and do the little knob. It used to make a little shadow, and it looked like a little man, right? So I'm sitting, I never noticed this, I'm sitting at the bottom of the stair, just sitting listening to my mum and dad watching TV through the door, just sitting there like, because I used to wait until I knew they were going to bed. And then I'd run up first, and then I'd be able to quickly go to sleep whilst I knew they were getting ready for bed, because I knew they were awake. So I was sitting there, and I just looked up, and I just saw this little shadow. And I was like, oh no, now I'm stuck because I can't go back up there because the little man's going to get me. I can't go in the living room because I'm supposed to be going to bed. I just sat there and cried. So yeah, it's all these little silly things you remember.
Yeah.
Tell us your real ghost story then.
So, when I was a little boy...
This is real life, yeah?
This is a true story from me. It's my experience. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. I was young, so how much of this that I'm giving back to you is true, I don't know. But this is what I remember and what I saw. So, when I was young, maybe around about 5, 6-ish, we lived in this house around the corner. And I didn't know at the time, but found out later that this house was actually officially haunted. I'll explain that in a bit. So anyway, living in this house, and my bedroom, where my bed was, if you laid on your side and looked out, the door was there and you could see the top of the stairs. Okay. So this one night, trying to fall asleep, and I used to sleep with my door open. After this night, it always then was closed. Falling asleep, and I turned around, looked out the door, and my mum used to always leave the downstairs hallway light on, so it would shine up and I could have a little bit of light. And when I turned around, all I saw was this man standing at the top of the stairs, and then he just stood there, and all of a sudden he just put his arm out and pointed down the bottom of the stairs. I didn't think much of it, rolled over and went back to sleep. The next day, woke up and I said to my mum, I was like, who was the man at the top of the stairs last night? She was like, what man? There's only me that was indoors and I was downstairs on her own. I then later, as I got older, told my mum this story again to see whether she'd remember. And she said the weird thing was the same day, because we know what night it was somebody's birthday. The same day, she was upstairs in her room and all the kids were downstairs and she was in her room, she was folding up her clothes and all she could hear was boom, 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 coming up the stairs, thinking it was one of the kids. And then it was boom, 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 down the hallway. And then the footsteps stopped at her door. So she turned around to go, rah, to scare the child, whoever it was, and there was nobody there. We then later, when we moved out, found out that this house was haunted. Well, not haunted, but the previous owners of the house actually died in the house. One was suicide and the other was murder. Where they did it was where we'd seen them, people ago, in the house.
Oh no.
That's
There's many stories in that house that I can tell you. There was one story where we were all playing, we call it peas in a pod. It's where you play hide and seek in the dark, but you've all got to go and find each other and hide in the same place.
Oh.
So we call it
like
peas in a pod.
sardines.
Sardines, there you go. Sardines as well. There was one night we were playing that, and I was the last one to go and find everyone, which means I had to find them. Sitting there counting, and as I'm counting, I can hear rustling around, thinking it was just them. And we would only have one spotlight on, and we'd have to sit under that spotlight to count, and then the rest of the house was pitch black. And the living room was like a long living room. Let's say it went from the front of the house to the back. The spotlight was at the back of the living room, sitting there counting. And I don't know whether, you know, when you open your eyes, and obviously your eyes trying to adjust to the light again, but I swear to God, there was somebody standing at the end of the living room just staring at me.
Oh.
Hand on my heart, don't know who it was, what it was. I didn't really pay much attention. I kind of went like that and went, oh. I walked out.
Oh no. It's always a man.
I believe in ghosts and I believe in all of that jazz.
Oh, me too. Because there's too many unexplained things like that you just think,
I mean, people might think I'm crazy, but...
No, because there's lots of people who would be able to say a story like that.
Yeah.
Has any of you ever done a Ouija board?
No. They were all the thing when I was in high school. Everyone was like, ooh, and they always lied, oh, I can do it, and you know. And then, I don't know if it was my parents or a teacher or someone of authority was like, do not do one, it's dangerous, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, and I got too scared and never did one.
No. I've been in that same
one
house.
at this night when we saw with the table and everything like that. But I was like, really? Is someone moving this? I wasn't convinced.
You're skeptical.
Skeptical, yeah. Skeptic.
This week we'll have to do one. next Halloween.
I'm never doing one. I've been in the same house when one was being done, but I left the room. I was like, I'm not doing that.
No. And that's why I don't really like paranormal movies, because it's things that's always in bed, and it's always, I'm just like, oh, I remember my sister telling me when her and her man watched Paranormal Activity, the first one. They said they couldn't sleep, they had to turn the light on. And they said it was so horrific, and I've never watched it to this day. I know there's been many after it that are not as scary, but she said that the movie, they were lying in bed one night, and she was, I think, Derek, her man, was like, do you mind if I put the light on? And she was like, yes, please, because they were really scared. And I was like, no. I don't understand anyone who watches movies like that to get scared. No.
I love it.
Oh, no.
I love that scared feeling.
Oh, there was one guy.
Maybe not as a single man. I don't know if I'm liking it as a single man.
It was 2014. I was dating this guy, and he was like, oh, I love horror. And I was like, oh, no, it's like my idea of hell. And he was like, let's go and see. It's when was it The Conjuring?
Yeah.
Came out. And he was like, can you go to the cinema? Don't worry, I'll look after you, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, it's my idea of hell. The people behind me must have thought, what the fuck is this? Because it just kept screaming. It was not enjoyable to me at all. I was like, get me out of here.
I'm not a huge fan. Literally, I'm a big wuss.
That surprises me. For someone who loves Halloween as much, I thought you would love them.
Yeah.
No, but I even scare myself. I forget that I've got it all on. And literally,
You look in the mirror.
Not just me. Yeah, I literally crap myself at my own makeup. But I remember one year, this was when I was a kid, I was living at home with Mum and Dad, and we were watching the film Arachnophobia.
No.
So we're watching the film, and he's in the barn, and he's about to climb up the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
As he does one step, the ladder breaks, and he hits something, and then a load of spiders or cobwebs go into his face. As he did that, my dad threw something at me at the same time. This is why I now hate spiders. I wasn't a huge fan before that, so that's why I hate spiders. And the reason why I hate snakes is because, do you remember Witches of Eastwick with Cher, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Susan Sarandon and Jack Nicholson?
Watched that the other
When
day.
Cher wakes up in a bed of snakes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The Arachnophobia is I can't watch it. I've watched it once. I can't watch it again.
It's like
They're my two fears.
I'm scared of spiders, but films like Arachnophobia and Eight-Legged Freaks, I would prefer that over a slasher or paranormal movie. Because I know it would never happen. You know, we don't get spiders like that in this country or whatever, so.
Give me a slasher movie over a spider movie any day.
So you excited about the new Scream 5?
Yes, I love the Scream series.
Ooh.
I've seen all the Screams, believe it or not, because I watched them as a young age. And again, they're kind of funny, aren't they?
They're not that scary, I don't think.
They're not that scary. The most
But
recent one I
good.
felt was a wee bit too gory, whereas 1, 2, and 3, they had the same sort of style, especially 3, it was more a comedy, wasn't it? And then number 4 was just, I think they were trying too hard because it was the era of the Saw movies. They were taking it a bit too far, and I was like, you're forgetting what Scream's all about. It's all about the kind of slapstick, kind of silly, you know, cringy moments, or why are you running up the stairs? Because it's a Scream movie.
Yeah. I love the Scream movies. Looking forward to
Another
that.
thing, I mean, I've only been driving like best part of nearly 2 years. So we went to the pumpkin farm yesterday. We picked pumpkins and whatnot, and my housemate where I'm living at the minute, they're carving pumpkins as we speak. But on the way there, it was quite dark, blah, blah, blah. There's a huge lorry in front of us, and I was like, I hate driving behind lorries like this because it always reminds me of the film Final Destination.
Yeah.
And I always try and move out and move, but I couldn't. And I was like, but now I've said it, hopefully it doesn't happen.
I love those movies as well. Final Destination.
No, those movies, no.
I still
And
use
I
a lay bed
I
sun.
want to lay down some bed.
I do.
I
See, I
can't.
still use them.
I can't.
I don't care. I'm like that. Kill me.
Oh no.
I have to go on the stand-up ones.
Nah.
It was a plane crash when it went, and then the roller coaster when it came flying. Oh no.
Yeah.
Anything that
Is it
is
true?
happening.
Every time you go on holiday to fly abroad, about 2 weeks before, there's films coming up on Netflix and this, that, and the other that all about
Always.
planes crashing and whatnot. And I'm like, really?
You know.
Always.
So yeah, this week we're not doing a traditional lip sync as with all 3 of us. We're each doing our own
No.
individual lip sync. So obviously mine's going to be a little bit obvious who I'm doing. Rhys, what are you doing?
So, because I'm dressed as a zombie, or tried to be, I decided to go with Heads Gonna Roll by Glee, which was a Thriller mashup.
Yes, I love that one.
And it was like a zombie song, so I'm going to go with that because I don't know all the words to Thriller, unfortunately. Here's my lip sync, bitches.
Off with your head. Dance, dance, dance till you're dead. Off with your head. Dance, dance, dance till you're dead. Off with your head.
It's close to midnight, and something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. between the eyes. You're paralyzed. 'Cause this is thriller, thriller night. And no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's thriller, thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight.
You hit the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold hand and wonder if you'll ever see the sun.
You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. But all the while, you hear the creature creeping up behind. You're out of time. There ain't no second chance at this thing with 40 eyes, girl. You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver. For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
'Cause this is thriller, thriller night. You're looking through your more than any ghost could ever dare try. So let me hold you tight and share a killer thriller.
So what are we doing
That's
for Halloween?
so-
You're going to see Hocus Pocus on Thursday, Lee. What are you doing, Rhys?
So my cousin's birthday is on Friday,
Oh yeah.
but obviously with the new restrictions, I don't know. So I'm having a drink on Saturday with my mum in our little Halloween gazebo that she's just made up for me.
Oh.
Send you boys the
Lovely.
picture. But that's probably about it. Because we
Do
normally
you guys
just
think
party.
that Halloween is getting a lot bigger in the UK now because it's almost fallen, not to the extent of America, but it's almost kind of Americanized now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'd like
The
it to
amount
be
of people I've seen on
different.
social media, especially from
Yeah.
America, because we've all our circles kind of got a little bit bigger now from all over the world, isn't it? With TikTok. So I've seen people's posting literally photos of like the mum, the dad, the children, all getting involved, doing fancy dress and everything, which I love.
It's not just a day to them, it's more like Christmas. They decorate
Yeah.
like October, it's like 2 weeks into October, they've got the whole house looking haunted. They do things, they dress up a lot, whereas for us, especially me anyway, it was just a 1 day thing. Like, well, it's
Yeah.
Halloween, 1 day or the day before, get ready, do something and it's over. Whereas it seems to be like a Halloween season for America. And I think it is slowly, there's a lot of people in my area that have, decorated their house, which I've never really seen before.
I love it. I would love to see
We've
Halloween.
decorated
get
up
this year.
our living room.
Have you?
I'll have to send some photos, yeah.
Yeah, my auntie does. My auntie decorates her house. She has a Halloween tree, like a Christmas tree with Halloween decorations on it.
I've seen people do that. I've posted up. I'm like, oh, I never
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah, it's
Halloween
clever.
tree. Oh, it's so strange, but then I like it at the same time. I mean, the only time I ever decorate my house is if we're having a Halloween party.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I would never go all out if I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my lip sync.
Don't be scared. I've done this before. Show me your teeth. Show me your teeth. Show me your teeth. Don't want no money. That shit's ugly. Just want your sex. Take a bite of my bad girl meat. Take a bite of me. Show me your teeth. Let me see your mean. Got no direction. I need direction. Just got my vamp. Take a bite of my bad girl meat. Take a bite of me, boy. Show me your teeth. The truth is sexy. Tell me something that'll save me. I need a man who makes me alright. Just tell me when it's alright. Tell me something that'll change me. I'm gonna love you with my hands tied. Show me your teeth. Just tell me when. Show me your teeth. Open your mouth, boy. Show me your teeth. Show me what you got. Show me your teeth. Teeth. Got no salvation. No salvation. Got no salvation. Got no religion. No religion. My religion is you. Take a bite of my bad girl meat. Take a bite of me, boy. Show me your teeth. I'm a tough bitch. Got my addictions. Now I love to fix them. No one's perfect. Take a bite of my bad girl meat. But I'm not a bad woman. Show me your teeth. I just need a little guidance. Tell me something that'll save me. I need a man who makes me alright. Just tell me when it's alright. Tell me something that'll change me. I'm gonna love you with my hands tied. Show me your teeth. Just tell me when. Show me your teeth. Open your mouth, boy. Show me your teeth. Show me what you got. Show me your teeth. Show me your teeth. Oh. My religion is you. My religion is you. Need man, now show me your back. Help, 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 need man, now show me your back. Tell me something that'll save me. I need a man who makes me alright. Just tell me when it's alright. Tell me something that'll change me. I'm gonna love you with my hands tied. Show me your teeth. Just tell me when. Show me your teeth. Open your mouth, boy. Show me your teeth. Show me what you got. Show me your teeth. The teeth. Show me your teeth. It's not how big, it's how mean. It's not how big, it's how mean. Show me your teeth. 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 Show me your teeth.
What's your favourite scary movie?
I've only got one scary movie that has actually really scared me, and it's called When a Stranger Calls.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I went to the cinema to see that. And
It's
when
about
did
a
it
girl
go?
that's babysitting in this lovely house, and she keeps getting these prank calls,
Oh
and
yeah.
it turns out that the caller was up in the kid's bedroom the whole time. Now, the reason that scared me is because I stupidly decided to watch it whilst I was babysitting. So that's the only film that's ever actually scared me when watching it. That's
And it
mine.
didn't have a good ending, did it? It was. I think it was.
It
was a
wasn't.
bad
but
ending. They all
because-
died or something.
Yeah, but because it's scared me, that's my favourite film.
Right.
When a Stranger Calls.
So that's your favourite scary movie, not like, and the one that also scared you the most.
Yes.
Okay. Lee?
I haven't got a favourite because I don't like them.
Well,
But like
you would say
the
Hocus
comedy
Pocus.
ones. Yeah, that or the comedy ones like the scary movies. I like those. With like Brenda and the
Yeah.
boyfriend that make me laugh. Sandy. The girl's coming out to TV. I like it. But I remember going to the cinema and we went to watch one of the Saws, and I was oblivious to what this film was. And I just went with a group of friends and we were all getting food and this, that, and the other. I think I had a hot dog, and I'm like that. First scene, I'm like, no. Anybody want this? But no, I'm not a huge fan. Another one I watched, I did actually watch it, and the first one I watched, Human Centipede.
Oh.
First one is more realistic than the second one. Second one, I turned it off halfway through. I'm like, how the hell can that guy drag that person, stick them in that little van? He's got an inhaler and all this, that, and the other. But the first one, he was like a medical, surgical person. I'm thinking, well, that shit could happen. And you know when you're driving through somewhere, like a country lane or something like that, and it's pitch black, you know the film Hills Have Eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Where there's like real freaky...
Hillbillies.
They all share a tooth. Hillbillies, they share a tooth and, you know, whatever. They're all married to each other. And I'm thinking, this is how it starts.
I was
driving down a country lane.
I was going to say, I didn't end up watching it all. I can't remember why I was watching it. But it was horrific because there's like scenes in it where I turned it off after the scene. These hillbillies, they're in a caravan, this family, right? And they, you know, jump into this caravan. The girl must be about 15 or 16, she's supposed to be. And the mum's, you know, 50, 60. And this hillbilly jumps on this girl and starts to pretty much rape her. The mum tries to get him off. He turns around and blows her across the room with this shotgun. She was flying across the room. And I just turned it off. And I was like, this is anyone who could watch a movie like that and enjoy it. I'm like, no, not for me, not for me. Rhys.
And Rhys is like, oh, I've watched it 10 times.
It's just horrific. Like, things like House of Wax. House of Wax was quite funny. Like, it was freaky, but it was watchable. I was like, you know, it was quite freaky, and I'm just like, oh, this is really scary. But it wasn't, like, horrifically disturbing scary. Like, oh my God, this is sick. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what it is. I don't know why I enjoy it. I just do. Like, I like The Wrong Turn, so I don't really like Hills Have Eyes, but have you ever seen The Wrong Turn?
Is that with Eliza Dushku?
Eliza Dushku, yeah, from Buffy, yeah.
I thought that.
That's an amazing film, and that's like a series. I think there's 5 or 6 of them now as well.
Oh, this is the first one.
Yeah, I really liked that, and that was really gruesome as well, but I think I liked it because of Eliza Dushku.
I liked it. I watched it because of her. The same reason I watched The Hitchhiker. Was it Hitchhiker?
Yeah.
Because it had Sophia Bush in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, you know, I love One Tree Hill because, you know, and I was like, oh, Brooke's in it. And I watched it and I was like, and she kicks ass. And I was like, yes, go. And I like movies where the victim or the, you know, innocent one comes out triumphant at the end.
Yeah,
yeah. Like, they all die and you're like, oh, I just rooted for that person. They're all dead.
Did you ever see that one where they all go like potholing? It's like cave-in or something like that. And there's these horrible creatures in the caves. And they do a sound like this, so they go, and they can't see, and literally they're white because they don't come out of like this cave. And right at the very end, you think, oh, she's going up towards the light, she's climbing out, this, that, and the other. But then it jumps back, she's still in the cave, and they're all coming down to get out. And I'm like,
no, I'm not seeing that.
An hour and a half of my life.
The noise made me think of
The Descent. Is it The Descent?
Love The Grudge. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
It's the only reason I watched that as well.
Anything with Buffy characters, One Tree Hill, I'm watching it.
Yeah, any Buffy character does a horror movie, I will watch it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's good or bad, I will watch it.
Yeah, agreed.
So, boys, do you want to add anything else?
No, so we just basically wanted to make this episode because it's Halloween. It's the first in a season during our next season's Christmas. We thought we'll do a little Halloween special and then we'll do a Christmas special as well, I think. So we just wanted to chat about what Halloween meant to us, our favourite movies, and then each of us do a little lip sync. So throughout this whole episode, I'll be dotting in each lip sync. So we might have already had Rhys or Lee's first and then whatever.
I love that.
Make it a little bit different.
I love that.
So guys, if you tell us as well in the comments what your scary movies are and give Rhys recommendations, to watch a scary movie, because I'm sorry, I won't be.
I'm up for any challenge,
Focus,
darling.
focus. That's ours.
Or tag us on Instagram. Tag us in your Halloween fancy dress costume outfits if you're having any social distance parties, etc.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone stay safe. Mask, not this type of mask, that type of mask. Space, mask. See that?
Face,
Face, space.
nails, hair, hips.
That's it. Anyway, just keep up with the NHS guidance. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and we will see you very, very soon. But before we go, it's me ending it really, really quick. If you do have any questions or any ideas for future shows, you can email us at reallifegaze@yahoo.com. If you would like one of our mugs, they are still
Witches
available
don't use mugs.
for £12. So you can email us at reallifegaze@yahoo.com. And also, if you would like one of our t-shirts, Rhys, give us a little twirl. So at the moment they are in white and black. Ooh, girl!
Yeah, queen.
So yes, you can order one of those as well. So email us also at reallifegaze@yahoo.com. And you can also check us out on our social media, which is Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. And also our own personal ones, such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So boys, one more thing left to do.
Thank you for
everybody.
watching.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Lots of love. Mwah.
Oh,
You can't crack it.
here's my lip sync, sister.
I put a spell on you. And now you're mine. You can't stop the things I do. I ain't lying. No! Don't listen to him! Been 300 years, right down to the day. Now the witch is back, and there's hell to pay. I put a spell on you.
Good joke. Happy Halloween. Thanks a lot. No, man, I'm
And
serious.
now
You got it. You had me. You weren't kidding. You had me. All right. Yeah, cheer up. Let's go, guys.
Hello, sailor. My name's Wilfred. What's yours? I put a spell on you, and now you're gone. My whammy fell on you, and it was strong. So strong. Your wretched little life have all been cursed 'cause of all the witches working. And the worst, I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? If you don't believe, you'd better get superstitious.
Mom, Dad, thank God.
Hey, Max, great show.
Cover your ears.
I put a spell on you. I put a spell.
Oh, I wish we had the camera.
I'll say it's a buy, up or maybe up and die. I'll say it's a buy, up or maybe up and die. It's a Koreama. Hey, hey, I say bye.